Hello everybody, it's your boy DometriousTheTitan here, and today's topic is a little bit different. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're talking about the news, and the reason we're doing that is because I'm a gamer. We're all gamers here. We all enjoy our video games, and I just think this is important because it's just, I was just reading through some stuff. What is my dog doing? Whatever. I was just reading through some stuff, and it's just crazy to me that they just won't give up. They just won't quit. It's just crazy that they're still in the news about the same thing. And what we're talking about here is loot box lawsuit claims Electronic Arts, or EA, is running an unlicensed illegal gaming system. The suit has been filed in Canada and relates to EA games going back to 2008, or relates to EA video games going back to 2008. So what's going on is Canada's doing a lawsuit against EA for loot boxes, as they should. And the reason we're talking about this is because it's crazy to me that the whole point of you're just supposed to make good games that people like, and they reward you with their money. You just make a good game, a good title, and depending on how much love that you put into the game, people are going to, play the game. They pick up their controllers, experience it, enjoy it, and they reward you by paying you. And then because you made a good game, they trust you with your other titles that come out, and they're going to jump on it. But EA they just won't quit with these loot boxes. And I swear, I can't remember, but I swear there's other countries that have done lawsuits against EA as well. And it's just very telling, the fact that they know nobody wants loot boxes in their games, and they just continue to push it because they're not focused on, they're not really, it's like they just make games to put loot boxes in it because they know people get addicted to that shit. And that's what it is. And that's what we're talking about here today. The relation between loot boxes and gambling, which is, let's just continue. Electronic Arts, or EA, is the target of a class action lawsuit filed in Canada over the use of loot boxes in games. If you want to read the patch notes, go to PCGamer.com. Let me see right here. Yes, PCGamer.com, and you can see the ins and outs of the details of what's going on in the lawsuit. Right now, we're going to be talking about general stuff. Gaming is strictly controlled and licensed in this country, Canada. In breach of these laws, the defendants have operated an unlicensed illegal gaming system through their loot boxes. The lawsuit states, Canadian consumers seek to hold the defendants accountable for this unlawful conduct and to recover their losses. It covers a much wider variety of games released between 2008 and the certification of the suit, however, including, these are the games. So they're being extremely thorough, and it's like around, I think it's 60 games going back to 2008 that they're saying the loot boxes in these games are egregious, and they're fighting against it. And I'm really happy to see more and more. I think I did highlight in here, we'll get to that in a second, what other countries are fighting against this whole loot box system, because yes, loot boxes are gambling. It gives you the same ticks as gambling with hey, open these loot boxes, or hey, open these card packs, and you may win a chance with all the flash. Hey, you may, you have a chance to win this item that you've been grinding for, been looking for, or this item that you want. And you just keep spending and spending and spending, and you, in hopes that you'll get that, and you think that the more you spend, the closer you are to acquiring that item. But in reality, the odds are stacked against you, because the more money they're not incentivized to let you win. The more you continue to spend without getting the item, the happier they are, because you're just throwing money into their pockets. So this lawsuit covers massive titles like FIFA 09 to 2021, Madden NFL 2010 to 21, NHL, which is big in Canada, NBA Live, and Apex Legends. Wow. And the Battlefield series, the Mass Effect series, I don't know who's playing Plants vs Zombies still. Sorry. I tried it out a couple of times. It's a fun game, but Plants vs Zombies. Star Wars: The Old Republic. And yeah, and even mobile games, down to mobile games, The Sims Mobile. And then let's go down here. It says interestingly, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the game that really helped kick off a mainstream backlash against loot boxes, is not on this list. And I don't even need to read the rest. We already know why Battlefront 2 isn't on the list. The only reason I highlighted it is because they saw what happened with Battlefront. They know nobody wants the loot boxes, and they saw the fact that Battlefront 2 isn't on this list because yes, it had a really bad release because of all the loot boxes and all the pay to win bullshit, and nobody wanted it, and people fought against it because it was really, really bad. And people got what they wanted. What wound up happening later was that the game was corrected, it was fixed, and now I don't even think you pay for skins, and people love it. So they got to see firsthand what people want to see, and they want to see loot boxes taken out of the games, and it just doesn't matter to them. They just continue. And again, it's just wild to me that you just make good games. You have states doing different lawsuits coming after you, and you just keep fighting back over these things people don't want. It's just wild to me. Anyway, loot boxes are considered part of the compulsion loop of game design to keep players invested in the game. Such compulsion loops are known to contribute towards video game addiction and are frequently compared to gambling addiction. The lawsuit says this is in part due to the use of variable rate reinforcement schedule, similar to how slot machines dole out prizes, and it is especially dangerous for children. Yes, because again, the way they do loot boxes, I think there was a whole thing where they had it down to a. Sorry if you'd hear my neighbor's dog. There's nothing I can do. Now I lost track of where I was at, but they just had it down to like, they know what they're doing. They know it gives off the same ticks, and they know that loot boxes are just gambling disguised as like card packs and other BS. And really the only real difference is like the wording, and that's about it. And that's what this whole thing is about. That's why we're having so much trouble, and why EA is able to continue to get away with having loot boxes in their games even though nobody wants it. And that's because the definition of gambling it hasn't caught up to what's going on. Like the definition of gambling, like it hasn't caught up to like new things like loot boxes and card packs and stuff like that, even though it's really the same. It is the same. And there are many different stories of people who gave testimony, either their children accidentally like falling into constantly spending a ton of their money in order to win a certain prize that they never got, and then like even adults, up to adults who, I remember there was a story, and I can't remember the name or anything like that, but he had a story about he already had a gambling addiction, and then now he has to face it in the video games that he plays at home. Come on. So, all right, where are we at? Loot boxes in EA's games all function in a substantially similar fashion, which is why they're going back. They're not just hitting them on like a couple of games. They're going all the way back. They're being very thorough and going all the way back to some of their older titles as well, down to mobile devices. Some loot box items provide in-game advantages, making them particularly desirable to players, but the suit implies that even items that don't affect gameplay have an insidious attraction. And that is very true. And I'm not even going to get into it. They're going to talk about it. Cosmetic items are associated with player prestige. We all know this in the gaming community. We all like our skins and like looking badass, and like especially in Fortnite and stuff, we make fun of the defaults and stuff like that. And that's what they talk about next. Players who use the default avatars are looked down on by other players. There is therefore an incentive for players to purchase multiple loot boxes in order to obtain more valuable and more prestigious rare cosmetic items. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be just showing off to other players, like when playing Skyrim, and stuff like that, and Skyrim and like some other games, like Warframe. It's all about like you know, and Ghost of Tsushima, it's all about getting really cool looking armor and looking good and making you look and feel powerful. Monster Hunter is mine. That's mine. And you know, where it's all about hunting creatures and or monsters, and then taking their scales and whatever else and making really cool looking armor and just feeling badass and looking badass. And yeah, I feel like you'd be made fun of if you, I mean, Monster Hunter is a different community. People are so nice there, but you get the point. Especially like in Fortnite, for example, people get laughed at for being a default. And in Monster Hunter, I don't know. I haven't played in a little bit, but I love my skins in that particular game. And I know my brother, and I'm off topic, sorry. So moving on, I'm like yelling, so I apologize for that. Let me move the mic further away from my mouth. The suit makes allegations of unfair practices, unjust enrichment, and breaches of competition and consumer protection regulations, but it primarily hinges on the question of whether loot boxes constitute a form of gambling. And this is the whole issue. The definition of gambling hasn't caught up to this new realm that's going on within the gaming community of loot boxes. Countries around the world, including Japan. Oh, so here we go. Yes, countries around the world, including Japan, Korea, Belgium, the Netherlands, the UK, and the US, have all either taken action against the use of loot boxes or made moves towards doing so. Nobody wants loot boxes. EA, give it up. You're not gonna win. They're coming after you. It's just wild to me. Nobody wants it in their games, and like you have the states and countries coming after people, coming after EA, and here we go. I didn't highlight this, but let's just cover this real quick. But it's still an unanswered question in most jurisdictions. Because of that, the case has the potential to have a major impact as a precedent setter in Canada, which could lead the Canadian government to take action to regulate loot boxes or penalize EA directly. So basically, or the result could be the determination that loot boxes aren't gambling, and that would really suck because it is. So we're all looking to Canada right now and some of these other countries to we should all just be paying a close eye to it, because if, you know, Canada coming after them now, if it's determined that, you know, it's not gambling, then we're stuck with loot boxes, and you can bet your bottom dollar that EA is going to get significantly worse. I don't think that they're going to get away with it just because of the way everybody's. It looks like these people in positions of power know the fact that nobody wants loot boxes in their games, and also they know that it gives the same mental tics as gambling, and it's very obvious. So I don't think we're going to be facing, I hope not, but I could be wrong, but I don't think we're facing a scenario in which they lose. Especially because I can't remember all of it, but EA's their comeback when faced directly on the when faced directly with hey, you know, is loot boxes gambling, they gave like really bullshit stupid answers, and it's anyway, because they know it's gambling as well. The lawsuit seeks restitution of the benefits received by the defendants and the full amount of the takings. Excuse me. The only reason I highlighted that was because I don't believe that. I mean, yeah, in a class action lawsuit, people are gonna get some money back, but I don't think people are gonna get, you know, all of their money back. I don't know. It says which seems optimistic, and I think that's very optimistic. I think you can stop, if they play their cards right, they can stop EA from continuing to do loot boxes in the future, and maybe cut it out of their games like what happened with Battlefront 2. But I don't think, but like just based off how difficult this fight has been so far against loot boxes, because really what's happening is that we're changing the definition of that we're changing the definition of gambling. Does that make sense? But I don't know. What do you guys think on the topic? I just wanted to talk about this because it just blows my mind that EA will not give up on just fucking people over and taking their money over something nobody wants, from the people playing the games up to the various countries and states. But my only thing is, the only thing I can tell people is like, guys, stop paying for the loot boxes. And if it's that tempting to pay for the loot boxes, then you really don't want to, stop playing the games. Anyway, guys, love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.